what I ran. Here's what I ran out to get. The Kraken.
Yeah, man, dude, that is epic.
And I had to put up with all sorts of bullshit, right? So the grocery store that I normally go to, they're kind of immune to the fact that I'm the guy who never wears a mask. So I'm going through the checkout line, and I try to go at hours where it's not too busy, so there's not too much flack and shit. And so this chick, you can tell she's just fucking freaking out, man, when I'm up there, checking out. And she's like, do you have a mask? I'm like, no. Do you want to wear a mask? I'm like, not really. And so then she's like, well, I'll get you one. I'm like, okay, fine. So that's what I mean, like normally I would just walk out and go, fuck that. And so that's what I'm doing to be here for this. So I just want you to know.
Well, cheers, brother. Yeah, they have, that's awesome because the Massachusetts today, the mask whole thing, like the shutdown came in about today was the first day, not fully shut down, but took a step backwards. So like you have to have like indoor dining went down to 25.
Okay.
Dude, you have to wear a mask. Listen to this shit. You gotta wear a mask while you're at the table, whoever you're at, and you pull it down in between bites and drinks.
That's retarded.
Dude, you couldn't write this shit, man, for real. Like,
no.
Think about it. Like this, if you wrote this shit, someone would be like, dude, man, what a fucking fairy tale this guy fucking wrote. All right. He's fucking people walk around masked thinking they're saving everybody and fucking ruining themselves. Like, what do they think's going to happen?
Yeah.
Like, and if there's anybody, oh, here's Michael right here. Yeah, what, Mr. Bell? I hope he's wearing Metallica. He's usually wearing his Metallica shirt.
No, not Metallica, guys. Not today.
Oh man, come on, man. Oh, you got the M there. That counts.
Let me grab my my power charger here before I run out of juice. Okay, I'll be.
Man, Kurt live in the flesh. Jeez.
Good. How good is this, dude? Right? Man, I was like thinking about. It's like yesterday that sucked a little bit, but today I was like, I wanted to do it for last night, obviously, before the today was a shutdown in Mass. They brought it back a little bit. And dude, you gotta hear these new guidelines. I was just telling Kurt about the guidelines. You can't go you gotta go in a restaurant, you go to eat, you pull down the mask in between your bites and your drinks, bud.
Fuck no. No way. No way.
For real, dude. No I'm not joking, dude. Dude, it's that like man, I don't get it.
I swear, man, we're in a game. We're in a game.
You can't write it. You can't write it. You can't write it.
It's just like we're in like they know they're lying. We know they're lying, and yet they still keep lying.
Dude, I had a guy from the town that ran for selectman. And like he's been all in town pretty well. And like he messaged me all day saying like people were mad about the rules on the town page that we take care of. And it was about like self-promotion, okay? So I had a message from some old lady a couple days before asking about the self-promotion and like what's going on. I was like, dude, listen, the way it's all going, everybody's struggling. I don't care. Just share whatever the fucking want. Like just be nice to each other and just share. I don't care. Like if you're gonna make some money, help yourself out, I don't care. Like I'm not gonna take down any of that, go for it.
Right.
And the next day I get a message from this guy saying that shows me this like Snapchat clip saying like by the way, while I'm working, you know what I mean? Like I can't take care of that fucking right now. But like he ends up sending you a thing saying, well, this isn't the rules of the group. Like, you can't do sharing it, you can't share this. Like somebody bickering. So I fucking went in there. I wiped out all those rules. I said, no restrictions, go for it, dude. I was like, fuck that, dude. Like,
wow.
This is a joke everybody's playing on each other. They're gonna pull up everything and say you can't do this because of this.
You
You know?
can't do that. You can't do that. I mean, it's like at some point, we got to realize that we're all gonna be in con. But I'm sure like more information has came out about the vaccine, and just still the fact that no matter if we take it or not, we're still gonna do we still have to do social distancing. We still have to do
Don't do none of it. Do whatever the fuck you want, dude. Do whatever you want.
I was just
I
like,
don't care.
and yeah, at this point, I'm just like, at this point, we might as well just say fuck it.
You should.
Well,
You should have said a long time ago, man. You should have, man. Like, life's too short, dude. What's everybody
the part
fucking
the part that's totally insane is they just keep moving the goalposts. So
Yeah.
it's just this endless game of moving the fucking goalposts, right? So we've seen that all summer. It's going on into the fall. Now their vaccine is here, and then they're busy telling you you'll still have to wear a mask, and you'll still have to social distance. And it's like, are you fucking kidding me? This is insane.
I'm just like, yeah, I'm just like, see, we're never gonna get out of this, like ever. And then,
never.
There's gonna be another damn disease, and they're just gonna do the same thing over and over again. Like we're never gonna get out of this.
Have you ever noticed when someone has cancer and they get opened up, get the whatever taken out of them, they go, they go into remission? Like, it doesn't happen obviously to everybody, but the ones that it do happen to, and it goes away, when they get asked to get open back up, check stuff, they say no, because they're like, dude, you're just gonna find something, no matter what, man. They learned it. They're like, no, you just gotta run with it, unless it's like really affecting your health daily, and it's really doing a number, then yes. But besides that, the fuck you doing, dude? We shutting down over exposure.
Yeah.
Exposure.
Yeah.
Dude, everybody's exposed. I'm exposed to idiots all day long. It doesn't mean I don't leave my house. Like, dude, come on.
I've been following this stuff since SARS happened, back in the early 2000s. And so there was a bunch of media and scientific stuff coming out about the masks. Because, people over in Asia were wearing masks like crazy. And so everybody over here was like, should we wear a mask? Should we wear a mask? And it's like, so the consensus was absolutely 100%. No, they really don't do much. But if it makes you feel better, okay, you can wear a mask. But it's like, there's no scientific evidence to support that works. So this is the state of play for 20 years. And now all of a sudden in 2020, oh no, we got a study that shows blah, 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 blah. It's like, fuck, no. And then if you start looking at all the OSHA professionals who have to deal with masks for actual jobs where people do need masks, there's a ton of like really serious science that's been done around this. And if you consult with OSHA professionals, they'll tell you, no, this is a mixed bag at best, because now you're introducing more CO2 into your system. You're taking down your oxygen levels. You're going to actually weaken your system. And how much are you actually preventing transmission of, viral pathogens? Very little.
All right. I could say, and I can attest to that, because I had to work a shift where I actually had to have my mask up, and I guess during some hours, that's about 6 hours in, I was feeling nauseous. I couldn't breathe. So I just took it down. I was like, nah, screw this. I'm not doing this for 12 hours. So
I used to run a golf course. Like, I sprayed pesticides. Like, I know exactly what it's like when you got those things on. That's what I did for a living. And then when I got sick, man, I had the BPAP. I used to have to take the BPAP 4 hours every day. If I didn't do it, I didn't get enough of the carbon dioxide out of my body in exchange of the oxygen, and I'd be weak and I wouldn't be able to like move. Like, you will like run down, you just want to sleep all the time. But that thing on your face, dude, for like 4 fucking hours a day, it was crazy. It gave me restless legs. I would have to go outside and get stoned before I came back in to use the fucking thing. Because even at the hospital, the nurses would be like, hey, go for a fucking walk. I worked out last time. They knew I was going to go get ripped. Like, I was like, dude, I came back in, you'd be fine. But like, yeah, fuck that shit, dude. You can't. I saw a woman driving today by herself with a fucking 95 on. I was
Yeah.
like, what are you doing? The windows up,
Yeah.
dude. Obviously,
Everyone
she's
here does
driving
that.
a fucking, it's definitely driving like a fucking Scion, that's the way it is. But like, hey, what are you doing? Fucking A.
Dude, I saw.
Everybody in Washington State does that. Everybody, and you'll see people out there walking completely by themselves in nature. They'll be doing that. You'll see people on their bikes exercising. They'll be doing that. I mean, it's just completely insane.
Dude,
And then the worst part
it's
of it all
not funny,
is,
but it's funny. It's not
and
funny,
the
but
worst
it's
part of
fucking
it all
hilarious.
is you got a study that Fauci co-authored, where he looked at the 1917 pandemic, and basically said that a huge percentage of the deaths back then were due to people wearing masks. And I have a friend who's a researcher who goes back and she picks up all these old articles from the newspapers, like 100 years ago. And masks were a big thing being promoted back in 1918. And a bunch of people died from bacterial pneumonia. So a huge number of the deaths back from that particular pandemic, it's not from the flu, it was from the masks.
And
that's
I'm starting to think, gentlemen, like the bubonic plague. I mean, I think a lot of people died from that because do you guys think that a lot of people died because they're in close quarters? Like they weren't, it's just they were too cramped.
Well, the thing is about
Okay.
those situations, I mean, you had like really horrible, just basic hygiene and sanitation.
Right.
So whatever environmental situation you're in is just exacerbated by the fact that, the environmentals are just horrible. Like the water's not all that clean. And just everything is not very clean. But I mean, that does give you a stronger immune system. I mean, I've posted that meme 100 times where it's like, here's a fucking dirty sandwich and that's how I eat it, because guess what? I expose myself to all these pathogens all the time. And so I have a really bulletproof immune system because I'm not a freaking germaphobe.
Right. Right. And plus, with me, drink alcohol, take cold showers, or even I even came down with a fucking cold and just took Alka-Seltzer and just took cold showers and I was just fine. So it just bothers me that health, like exercise, eating healthy and whatnot, it's not being promoted. It's just
That's huge. That's huge. The fact that they're not promoting, look, here's the supplements you should take. You should be taking zinc. You should be taking C, D, vitamin K. All these things help bolster your immune system. And nobody's promoting that. And they're not saying like you should be out exercising. You should be getting fresh air every day, sunshine. I mean, that's a giveaway. It's
right.
Like they don't have your health and your best interests in mind. No, they just want you sick and fucked up.
Yeah, and
I'm feeling kind of good about myself because Kurt just read part of my medication list right there. I have a little bit more than that, but those were all on there, so I'm feeling pretty good.
Yeah, man. I mean, and I mean, this is crazy because like this is real. So one of the Canadian health, governing bodies actually came out and made a statement where they were sort of debunking the fact that somebody was promoting, these holistic, naturalistic, bolster your immune system type things. And so they actually put that up on a Canadian government website where they were like, yeah, like huge amounts of vitamin C and blah, 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 blah. And it was all standard stuff. It's like this really a part of the holistic community for a long time. And they were just like, this is all fake news and bullshit.
What?
It's like, are you fucking kidding me? Come on.
Like vitamin C?
Like yes. Yeah. So like massive amounts of vitamin C.
Well, that's definitely proof to do the exact fucking opposite they're telling you. I think anybody can figure that out. Fucking a 4-year-old can figure that out.
Yeah. I mean, that's man. It's like I swear we're like living in Twilight Zone, man. It's like a bad episode of Twilight Zone.
Dude, for the last few days, I've been having that in my head. The coming on and off. I'm like, man, we are living it, dude.
Well, gaslighting is just epic. Every day. I mean, you just keep thinking, it's like, okay, this just cannot possibly get worse, and then it does. And then they'll fucking flash some other shit up at you where you're just like, dude, give it a rest.
I gotta say,
Nobody
Yeah.
with a brain believes that shit, okay?
basically almost everybody on, hopefully that will be joining us tonight. It would and besides with Hayes too being one and Nick. Oh, most of my media content I looked at is from us, really. So like it seems like I find it's always in the same kind of group. So basically, when you're watching Channel 5, dude, how this is absurd. How can people not figure out that Channel 4, Channel 5, Channel 7, Channel 10, whatever the fuck it is, it don't matter, is fucking corrupt in some way, man. They're telling you this shit for a reason. They're all part of a fucking, they get paid. They get paid, dude. Like it's
Hey,
like
I
I'm
mean,
paid to tell you.
yeah, I mean, speaking of which, actually, the Channel 5 in my news saying that certain health officials shouldn't take the vaccine, and I'm sitting there thinking, huh, you shouldn't take the vaccine, but you want us to take the vaccine, huh?
I
That's-
really am convinced that Black Lives Matter movement, the whole fucking thing to get them put in the forefront, was for Black people to take the vaccine first. Like at least get most of you guys in the front line to help Bill Gates get his fucking
Hell,
shit he wants.
Fuck
It.
no,
I
fuck
hate to
no,
say it,
fuck,
but
fuck no, fuck no. I
but
know
you
Jay.
see, dude, over here they're promoting that. I swear to God, in the news over here they're like, you know, we're getting the Black community first, the vaccines.
Not, oh no, no, no,
Like,
no, fuck
dude,
all
it's one of
that.
those things you're like, man, I can see the angle right here.
Well, this is gonna be hilarious. I mean, this is gonna be one of the great freaking like dramas of social media and everything, because the stats say that the Black community is very vax skeptical, as they should be, and good for them. And so now you're gonna have like a bunch of white liberals who are gonna be like, yeah, you guys need to take this shit, man. And it's gonna be like
Yeah.
the worst. It's gonna be fucking
Yeah, it's gonna be. Oh, and I'm starting to realize. I told James, I was telling James, I was like, dude, Malcolm X was just right about liberals, because
yeah, it was.
it's just like it's just not, to me. It's just like it's like what was it, Tuskegee? It was like Tuskegee like trials or
Tuskegee,
something.
yeah, the Tuskegee
Yeah,
guys. Yeah, they just were like
Yeah,
medical experiments.
yeah. And I'm just like, see, it's just like this shit all over again, just in numerous of places. So I'm just like, I'm not taking anything. And
dude, I have cystic fibrosis. I'm not taking that fucking thing. I don't care. Dude, you can put a gun to my head. I will say pull the fucking trigger before that thing. That's another thing too. They want to give it to the people who are sick first, all right? In front care workers. Why not fucking taking that?
I don't think they're
trying to save us, right?
I'm
save us.
Yeah.
How's that saving
I mean,
me?
I'm thinking like the healthcare.
Deadliest thing. You want to give me the most deadliest thing where you're telling me my body cannot handle it, but we're gonna take it first. That's a fucking suicide wire. It really is. Like that is, and they're convincing people that that's the thing to do. And the people that are going to encourage them to go do it, they're never going to own up to that. They're going to fucking say whatever. Well, it was the right thing to do.
Exactly. And I was just about to say that, like, a lot of people who are for these vaccines, you show them all this information, and it's almost like they just don't care. And I'm just like, so the game is like, if I actually fall ill to this vaccine, it's gonna be like, oh, it's not my fault. Oh, something's wrong with you.
Tom, I just shared his post not too long ago. Tom Kowitsky, you guys know what I'm talking about?
I think so.
Said, like, take the if you're so confident in it, the vaccine people take the fucking that clause away. You know what I mean? Go ahead, like run the risk of like owning the deaths if it doesn't work. You know, they won't take that shit away. They're not dumb. It's like putting you go to an auction for a car. They got the reserve on there. You know, they got the reserve on there because they're not walking away a loser. They're gonna make sure they're all right. They're thinking of life as numbers, and the numbers is not real numbers. It's fucking dollar signs.
Yeah, if you really believe in your product, then you don't need the exemption that makes you free from product liability. If you kill a bunch of people with your product and you get sued, I'm sorry, but man, you fucked up.
Yeah. That's on you, dude. You gotta make that
decision. On you, man.
And
they're already laying the groundwork. They're like, you know what? we're going to give this to a bunch of seniors. And if seniors drop dead, well, they were probably just going to drop dead anyway. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
Which
that's,
is
a
rightfully so.
Kafka
You get
trap.
old, you die. You get old, you die. That's what happens, dude. Rightfully
it's
so.
just
But you don't give it to
it's-
the fucking weak first. You give it to the strong. See how they're doing. You
Yeah.
don't pick out the weakest ones and then you fucking just pull the trigger. That's it's immoral being a person. We all know
Yeah.
ways to be rich and get advantage on someone else. But it doesn't mean you take it. You don't
Yep.
do it. It's not right. It's fucked up because I'm like, I'm old for someone that's sick like me. In my tribe of CFers, I'm a rarity. So it's like I don't expect to be here forever, but I know for a fact, yes, it's probably better for me to make sure no one's around me all the time. It probably is. It probably is. But I know for a fact it's not what I want, anyways. But I know how bad it is for everybody else. So you fucking do what's right, and you tell them to fucking go live their lives. It's
like
me off. At the same time, I'm happy you got a sense of humor because like guys all look like idiots to me. Sorry.
yeah. I mean, it's like it's that's one thing. The craziest thing is like companies. You hear about companies requiring you take the vaccine to work here. I'm like, that's not gonna fly with a lot of things.
I hope they go under. Those ones that say that you can go under.
Yeah, I mean, because and on top of that, wouldn't you be messing up your bottom line if your workers fall ill to this vaccine? Wouldn't you be messing up your bottom line anyway? So that's like it's almost as if like it doesn't make any sense because it's like no one's looking into this and connecting dots. It's like
everybody wants to say that we're just going about it because everybody else is doing it. This is what they want. We just want to get back to our regular thing. It's not going to happen, dude. You're not going back to regular. We are fucking down this rabbit hole so far now. We don't know which way's back. You can't go. You just got to know what's right, and you just got to fucking act. No more. It's ridiculous because what's going to happen? Like Kurt, you got a daughter. I don't have a daughter.
So, I mean, I've been anti-vax before she was born, but to sort of go along and get along, we had to kind of put up with some of that. So it's been trying to have a foot in both worlds and kind of navigate some of that. So a couple of years back, they came down hard on this, and they were like, "You absolutely have to get this whooping cough vaccine." And they removed the religious exemption here, as they've done in many blue states. So, it used to be that you could just say, "Hey, it's against our religion, and we're not going to do that," and you had a nice out. So that was fine. But they took that away, and so then it was like you have to go to a doctor and have a discussion with the doctor. So I did that. This is when she was in 8th grade. She's in 11th grade now, and so I'm having this discussion with this doctor, and she's jacking me up, and I'm like, "There's just no fucking way. It doesn't matter what you say. I've done the research on this. I've been looking at this forever. We're not doing this." And so finally she relented. But yeah, she probably had an economic incentive in this.
Right.
Yeah, the more people you get to take the jab, there's payola on the backside of that. So sure, that's how it works. Money talks and bullshit walks. But it's just, I've seen this coming for a long time. I can tell you that. For 20 years, it's like, eventually this shit's going to come to a head, and this will be an epic issue. And so what we see now is, if it came down to they're going to show up at your door and you're going to vax or not, that would be one thing. But they're not going to do it that way. They're going to do economic coercion. So you can't get a job, you can't catch a flight, you can't go into this restaurant, you can't participate in society. So you're going to have to develop an alternative network, or you're going to have to exist completely outside the system. So, I don't know what to say. It's just, as I see it, here's where I'm going to dip heavily into conspiracy theory, because the people who followed this stuff all our lives, we've seen this shit coming for 20 years. And I would say, when they broadcast all of these signals, believe them, believe what they say. This has been that sort of globalist UN New World Order speak for a long time. This is what they're promoting. This apparently everything hinges on this. You see it in the Great Reset stuff. It's showing up everywhere. So you really have to take them at their word for it. And I would say this is a great inflection point right here. Are people going to kowtow to this, get down, take a knee and say, sure, I'll take this. It's not my body, my choice. I'm doing this for the good of humanity. Well, we know that's not true. Or am I going to, assert my individual sovereignty and autonomy? It becomes a binary decision, and it's just a major inflection point of where the world is headed.
Right. And I think that I know being millennial and whatnot, but I've been studying this stuff for like 10 years. So I knew it was coming as well. But there is a little bit of hope that, with Texas seceding and or at least and this, that, here and there, I think there's going to be two different worlds for us all. So it's not going to be like, because they can't, there's a limitation to their power. There are limitations, and they tend to be very arrogant and fall on certain things. They're not going to take over. I don't think they're going to take over the world, but they're just going to make certain parts of the world glamorous, more desirable, and then leave the rest to just rot. So I think that there's only so much they can do and so much they can influence. But when people know what's up, I mean, they're not gonna. They can't just send. They can't send the army to destroy them. Because it may be like that in the Western world, but in parts of Asia, parts of Africa, parts of Latin America, they're just saying no to this. So
yeah,
and people are not knowing that while half the states are saying no to Biden, parts of the world are also saying no to Biden as well. So half the world are saying that we don't recognize Joe Biden as the leader, and nobody is really saying that. So, even if Texas and other states were to secede, they would have the back of at least half the world. But my thing is that if we go down this route, the United States are just going to be a battlefield for, I guess, World War III. And World War III is not going to be, nation versus nation, but ideology versus ideology. Mm-hmm. What type of world are we going to live in? So that's where I'm seeing it. And
I just reposted. I shared a post of Jordan Hall's today, which was talking about Civil War, and I agree completely with what he said. And I would say that the Civil War actually started about a week or two after the 2016 election. So there was like a very small grace period there where a couple people were like, hey, like for instance, Bernie Sanders, who I actually voted for in the primaries, where he said, we can find mutual points of agreement here with Trump. And so, because in 2016, Bernie was an economic populist, as is Trump. Mm-hmm. And so it was like there was a place where left and right could come together. And that could have been pretty hopeful. But of course, that doesn't serve the interests of the global elite because that's a populist movement. So there was a point there where it was like, yeah, there's something could come together, but that was immediately rejected by the neoliberals and the neoconservatives because they're 100% against Trump and populism and we the people. So ever since then, I would say we've been in a slow boil of a civil war. There's been an information war. I mean, I can't recommend reading Jordan Hall's essays enough. All of them, every single one of them out on, where he posts them. I would say they're all essential.
He's great.
And him and I have come from almost exactly the same perspective. in terms of this being a paradigm shift. And so we're in the middle of that right now, where there's just a lot of shit cooking. So you're between two paradigms here. So there's going to be a fair amount of chaos involved with that. And I would say it's good to make peace with that, because otherwise it's going to drive you crazy.
I want to, so like, that's
Right.
great with the Jordan Hall thing. Is like, so like, I'm happy you brought up Jordan Hall. So like with the deactivations, okay? When Jordan Hall went down, Brandon went down, Leo, Sean. I was with Sean on Friday night, and Brandon. I see Brandon almost every day. I saw him this morning, but like they talk to Jordan Hall quite a bit, like Brandon does quite a bit, and he always has for a couple of years. I don't know if many people knew that, but he has, and like they talk about a lot of the unity stuff, and so I known about Jordan Hall for quite a bit, a couple years, where I watched a lot of his videos. I talked to Hayes about him personally, and they talked personally, and to see all that go down, I knew who the kind of person Jordan Hall already was when he got deactivated. I was like, holy crap, that's far reaching. And first off, Kurt, you're one of the only guys, Michael, you as well, Kurt, but man, one of the only guys I only hang around Facebook anymore for. For real, dude. Like, I literally got rid of Facebook off my phone, and I only have it on my laptop. And like, you're gone all day. You know what I mean? So I look at it first thing in the morning, maybe do a post here and there, and then I wait till when I'm back at home. So, but man, maybe 50% of the shit is share. It's all Kurt's. Like a fucking epic meme guy, by the way. Lord Jensen. If
Do you want to know why I hang around?
I hope it's me.
So, I mean, a fair amount of, so I come out of the integral world and out of the world of complexity theory, which is where Jordan Hall has a lot of his chops are come from there, right?
Yep.
So I sync up with Jordan like 100%. So when I came across his work, I was like, yes, this dude gets it, totally gets it. And as it turns out, I've had hints that, I mean, it comes out of sort of similar schools of thought. And so there's just a lot of synchronicity there.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm a shit posting meme lord, so he can't hang out with me too much, and that's cool. I get that.
It's funny how you say synchronicity, dude. Synchronicity, because I was just talking about that.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So the reason I continue to stick with Facebook is because, contrary to some people's opinions, it's not just an echo chamber. I have a public account, and a lot of stuff that I post, I see echoes of that going out into people who are not necessarily completely synced up with us. And so, I mean, look, I've been doing this shit since 1994. I've been a fucking digital soldier all my life. I've been counterculture my entire fucking life. Whoever's in power, I'm against them. So when it was the neocons, it was like, fuck Bush, fuck Cheney, fuck all those guys. They're the Sith, and I hate them. And now that shifted, and now it's people from the neoliberal world that are in power. Fuck them, I'm against them. So I haven't changed. And then people over the years are like, dude, what happened to you? It's like, fuck, are you not paying any goddamn attention? I haven't changed a bit. I'm exactly the same as I was 20 years ago. Still railing on the same shit. It's first principles. It's the perennial philosophy. It's all this shit that matters, and it doesn't change across political fashion. It's not about posing. It's not about political fashion. And so I'm waiting for fucking Zuckerberg to just suck a big dick over all of this shit that he's doing, because it's coming out now. The guy has chosen sides, and he's made political decisions that are absolutely 100%. He's literally spent hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, making political statements and violating political campaign laws. Okay, so if you get somebody who actually will prosecute that, this guy's in a world of fucking hurt. And I'm waiting around for that. And as I posted today, the memes will be fucking epic. We're gonna rain holy hell down on his fucking cuck ass.
I
So
know,
there
I
you
know,
go.
I know a few that has some in the works against him on that prosecuting part. Like, so good for fucking them, man. Because the same thing, it's like, we all know it. It's how can you not? How can you still deny that you don't see this? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
but yeah,
How? Like, it's we know. Dude, if you know yourself and you know when you're lying to yourself, it can be about anything. It could be like, fucking, this shirt looks good on you. You know what I mean? You still have that voice in the back of you to say, you look like a fucking idiot. You know? So how can you not see that with everything else? Like, just you're breaking down that simple, you know?
but you know what though? You know what though? A lot of people don't. Apparently, some people don't have inner dialogues or inner monologues.
That's terrible. What a fucking terrible life that must be. Like,
Yeah. So
you got to fucking. How do you not correct yourself on anything? How do you know how to put your left foot in front of the right?
that's what I'm saying. It's like, how the hell do you not have an inner voice, like inner monologue? You know, it's just it's it's like an NPC in a video game. So
I am
Yeah.
a gorilla. Yeah.
Well, one of the things that I picked up on that I thought was really good that Jordan promotes is the idea of malware living in your brain, and it's living in your brain rent free much of the time. So
Good.
I would say that in terms of personal evolution, it's your job to figure out what is malware and what is, so in other words, where does truth and ideology cross swords? And it's your job to figure out what is truth and what is ideology. And so, I mean, I've been posting about that for over a year. So I saw this coming back in late 2019, I would say, that there was this great bifurcation coming. So obviously, it's no fucking great shakes to call that there's this massive ideological conflict happening, that left and right are incredibly polarized in terms of who's out on the edges of each side. But there's also a massive overlap in the middle, and nobody wants to focus on that because that doesn't serve either side. But I mean, there's a huge place where people can come together and figure that shit out and have a lot in common. And there's a lot of humanistic principles there. There's a lot of perennial philosophy, first principle stuff that comes together right there in the middle, where left and right can bridge these divides. But nobody wants to do that because we're in the middle of a fucking war and an information
Right.
war. So I've seen that for at least a year, where it's like that's just going to get really hot. And so
I think Kurt, I think you told me about that. We were talking about that. The great what was it, bifurcation or something like that?
the great bifurcation. So bifurcation means that things are going two ways. You can go this way or you can go this way. So you've taken, so for instance, I go into a quantum mechanics kind of thing where it's like light is both a wave and a particle. Okay. And so if you go into the quantum mechanics thing, it's like there's this duality thing where it's all just kind of hanging in the balance. And so when you see me talking about collapse the wave, what collapse the wave means is that these two possibilities are no longer in play. And now you have to go down this path or this path. So that's what collapse the wave means. And so what we're looking at right now is a lot of collapse the wave shit, which means you have to make a choice. Are you on the side of truth? Or are you on the side of ideology? And I would say a whole bunch of people have chosen truth because they've gotten red pilled from a whole bunch of shit in 2020, where they've realized that the corporate media does not have your best interests at heart. They have the 1%. And I wouldn't even say it's the 1%. It's like really the 0.01%. And another part of this rant would be, if you didn't read Noam Chomsky back in '89 and into the '90s talking about why the corporate media was a huge problem, then you could have caught Breitbart and Andrew in the early 2000s and got it from the right. perspective. So the left and the right actually meet in terms of deciding that the corporate media is the fucking enemy. And it should be incredibly obvious. And there's a bunch of polls that say, yes, it's really obvious to a bunch of people that the corporate media is the virus. And people need to figure that shit
There's
out.
I got one
There's
thing.
only like six. There's only six corporations that own the media, the whole entire media. There's only six of them.
Exactly.
So, but I'm wondering. But see,
and it's even worse than that. There's only a few corporations. There's only a few corporations. For instance, if you go to the drugstore or the grocery store, there's only about 5 or 6 corporations that own every fucking product that you're buying. And this shit started with this shit. Yeah. Yeah. So like Colgate, Johnson and Johnson. I mean, all of these companies are
Coca-Cola.
What's that? Yeah. Yeah, it's like there's only like 6 corporations that own fucking everything that you buy in almost every store.
Yeah, Walmart's also Sam's Club, and
yes.
Dude,
so
I
this
thought
started
like different fucking companies. Like, god damn, dude.
So these are all labels.
Brothers.
These are all labels that have been consolidated under these corporate umbrellas. So, for instance, let's say you start off and you organize a organic, holistic company, and you build this up into a $100 million company, and then at some point you gather the attention of Johnson and Johnson, and Johnson and Johnson says, "Wow, you guys are just kicking ass, man. We're gonna give you $500 million to buy you out, or we'll ruin you." So you've got a choice to make. You can sell out to Johnson and Johnson for $200 million,
the Rock eyebrow going.
And so a lot of these companies, so like, I'm not just saying this from a standpoint of I'm looking at like various rabbit holes on the internet. I talked to a guy here who's a local dude selling pet products, and he's watched this trend for years. He's selling like organic, holistic pet food, and he's like, dude, so this brand that we used to tout just got bought up by Procter and Gamble. Okay. And here's how it goes. So they had all these like holistic, organic, awesome ingredients. And as soon as they get bought out by these motherfuckers, they start substituting shit. And the bottom line matters, and they make more money. And then guess what? The product suddenly isn't nearly as good and as healthy as it used to be. And this trend has repeated itself so many times that
okay.
I don't know. It's just fucked up.
It's just not okay. Because the thing about it is like, because these corporations have stock, so it means that you can be on their board if you know how to work and rate them. That's the thing. Because it's not like the corporations. Because here's the thing: there's a hierarchy with corporations, and the tippy top of the hierarchy are investors. So it's not these corporations in and of itself. It's these investors who are just looking to make a return. They're saying that, hey, I need to make a return, this, that, here and there. So these corporations are doing everything they can to just make themselves profitable. So it's not, I wouldn't say, and I'm not defending corporations, but it's just, I know who's on top of the food chain and who's the bottom. I mean, the CEO is just a lapdog at this point.
Yeah.
And all these
I would say that paradigm absolutely has been 100% true until very recently. And so what I'm saying very recently is that that bottom line is no longer nearly as important as the ideological considerations that sit over the top of it. So in 2020, suddenly you see corporations making decisions that are not going to play well with the average, John Q. public, right? Right. And so they're willing to lose money. So for instance, if you look at Facebook, Facebook has made decisions that are pissing people off and they're chasing people off, and is going to affect the bottom line. But if you step that up a level and say that this is actually a global ideological conflict, they're willing to take short-term losses for long-term gains.
Right.
So,
for long term,
for most of my life, I would say absolutely this is true. Quarterly returns and profits absolutely mattered. And so, race to the bottom capitalism was the trend. That mattered. Yeah, and what have you done for me lately? Capitalism 100% mattered. But now all of a sudden we're seeing this trend where it's like, you guys just made a bunch of decisions that are not going to be good for your quarterly profit margin, and they don't give a shit. And I would say that's because they're looking out much further and saying, we're going to be on the right side of this shit with the globalists and the Chinese communists because they're making their move right now. That's what I see.
Right. So it's like, my mindset is like taking control of these corporations and then turning them around to where it serves, I guess, the people, again. So that's why I said that. It's like, if people knew how to invest and knew how money works, how the stock market works, how you can own a company, like majority shares, and make decisions and make it to where you're the boss, some of these half of these corporations would be in the hands of America instead of the hands of the Chinese or anyone, or these woke ideologies and stuff like that. So that's why, like, it's just, we're in World War III right now. It's an unsung war, but how to make money, capitalism and whatnot, it's another battlefront. James was right when he said business is battlefield. He wasn't talking out his ass. I mean, he was correct. I mean, you got to.
He was.
And the thing about it is, like, he knows this. A lot of people knows this, but the majority of the right does not know this. The thing about it is that if the right were to corporate grade a lot of these corporations, this shit would stop like that, like that, because they would be.
Back in the early 2000s, we saw a number of companies that were sort of experimenting with enlightened capitalism. So enlightened capitalism was, we're going to enfranchise everybody at these lower levels. So all the employees have buy-in. They have they're stakeholders. They have interest in the bottom line. So when the company does better, everybody does better. So it's more of a bottom-up mentality. And then that kind of, there were some companies that did okay with that, and then it just never really took off. And it didn't take off for obvious reasons, I would say. And that is because there's this larger ideological conflict taking place over the top of that, which is, globalism versus populism. So populism is based on a bottom-up consensus building where we, the people, are able to have a lot more input. And then globalism is based on top-down mandates. And so I would say that a lot of that got derailed because, we saw the power exerting itself from the top down, where they said, you know what, we're going to need to squash some of this shit. And so I would say, like, an interesting guy who's been on the bleeding edge of that has been Bannon. Bannon has been looking at this shit for a long time. I would say absolutely follow him and be conversant with everything that he's doing. Right now, it's obviously all focused on the election, but him and Andrew Breitbart had looked at a lot of this stuff for going back 20 years. And so unfortunately, this is cast as, a dissident or alt-right perspective, but in fact, it's something that could easily overlap across both sides. And in my experience, going way back 30 or 40 years, this is actually a left perspective. But the problem is that most everybody on the left just they just fucking don't get it.
No, they get it. They don't give a fuck.
Yeah, well, suddenly, if you find yourself fucking lined up with the Fortune 500, you should be like seriously concerned.
Well, I will tell you, Kirk, I would say that the bottom up consensus would be a key to bringing back jobs here, because even in my dealings, I had a guy. There's this guy who was trying to make this I guess manufacturing factory for like PPE equipment, right? So, and his idea was that he was going to give the workers some of the share, or own some of the stakes of that company, and he was going to take, I guess, 10%, and he wanted to promote that, this is their company, it's not just my company, it's their company. And it really like, and I told him, I was like, I was thinking about the same thing, because you can't bring back the Henry Ford factories of today. You'd have to do it, I guess, from the left perspective. So I would say that that I guess method would be key to bringing back jobs, because a lot more people would stay, a lot more people would be more happier, and we'd still have the manufacturing base here. The only issue with that is the high demand, or at least the high taxes. It's going to be more expensive, but at least you're not going to get, if the workers own most of the company, it's less likely you're going to get raided or shut down by venture capitalists, or things of that nature. You're not going to get raided. So I'm glad you brought that up, because it's a great point to bringing jobs back here. Because I can own a company, and then I can own 10% of the company and let the workers own 90%, and then I'll be that 10% that says, hey, I'm not selling this, So it's just something that it really truly needs to be looked at if we ever want to bring back the manufacturing base here.
That would be a major paradigm shift right there, where it's like you're empowering the workers to have skin in the game. I mean, they already have skin in the game. It's like if they fucking take your job and they send it down to a Mexican facility to have those guys produce the same parts of the same products at 10% on the dollar, you're fucked. And so I mean that's
Right.
always been there. And so, race to the bottom capitalism is a serious issue. Vulture capitalism is a serious issue. So, I mean, there's a great fucking rant against capitalism. But I would say that the idea that rant leads to socialism or communism is highly suspect. It doesn't.
Right.
But it suggests that capitalism needs to be reimagined and done from the bottom up instead of the top down, because markets still matter, buy-in from the workers still matters, and there's no fucking way that anybody in power wants any of that, because guess what, that cuts them out and makes them just one voice among many, and they don't fucking want that. I mean, if I were in power, I would probably behave as they do. So it's real easy to imagine what they're thinking and why they're doing what they're doing. And so everybody kind of needs to get their head around that to understand why they do what they do and why we should be doing what we do. But anybody who's suddenly siding with Fortune 500 to go like, oh yeah, we need to be like promoting all this globalist shit. It's like, what are you, fucking crazy?
Yeah.
I had an offer where it was a podcast situation like this, where I would get a little piece of the action, where we push some stuff forward, and interview a certain, like, not a certain group, but it was kind of felt like that, you know what I mean? Like, and but the idea was my idea to begin with, where I wanted to do something for me, nothing else, like something I was interested in, you know what I mean? So it went to a point where it ended up working out great, where I branched it out, and then me and Michael started doing this right here, which we haven't done in a while, Michael, by the way. Sorry about that, bud.
I mean, I know it's gonna get busy by the holidays, so I was kind of expecting it. So
I've been busy with the landscape stuff, trying to get the truck ready, and I thought I missed out on a storm the other day over here, not having the truck ready, but luckily we barely got a coating. So like that helped out here. But but I ended up like I was saying, I got offered this and but it was taken away from my idea. My idea was only for me, something I was interested in, something I wanted to do. That was it, and I like the idea of bringing other people in, but the way I got that landscaping thing going for me, like I built from the ground back up, was I had a friend that had a dream of something they wanted to do for a living. And I had another friend that had a similar dream. That was it. It's pretty sweet. This is a pretty good story right here. So like all it was I ended up saying like, hey, I'll invest some time with you guys of my own time. And it was like a reciprocity thing, you know what I mean? Put some skin in the game. But it wasn't skin in the game at the time. I ended up just doing it because I thought it was a fucking cool thing to do for a friend. And it ended up turning into a way of living where I'm financially better than I've been actually before I was married. You know what I mean? It's kind of funny. And that crippled me, my divorce. You know what I mean? So it was like other things obviously too. But with that, it was a big one. And here I am, man. Like, like all of a sudden doing my own thing, which ended up turning into one of the people in that dream for them is my backer for my landscape company now. And we got a good starting fund where I didn't have to go to a bank.
Wow.
So it was one of those things that exactly you said, skin in the game. And it wasn't the ironic thing was I never meant it for skin in the game. I never did it for skin in the game. I just did it because I wanted to do something for a friend that I cared about, who did something for me. That's
And
it.
it just
That's all it was. Reciprocity.
Yeah, it just snowballed from there.
And it's ironic. I mean, it's one of those things that I wonder the last couple of weeks about it, where it makes you, like a couple of years ago with the off topic here, but like a couple of years ago, I thought I was going to die. You know what I mean? Like I got told I was going to die in the hospital, signed my last rites, said goodbye to everybody. And I was with a friend tonight who was one of the people I texted, and then I ended up calling, and there was, 1 out of 7, maybe 7 or 8 I talked to that night. You know what I mean? I seen a couple in person. But it was like, seeing him today, hanging out, I give him a motherfucker a hug. Like he was exposed to COVID like a few weeks ago, and I still hug the motherfucker, and I have CF. You know why? Because that's what matters. What the fuck are we doing?
Yeah.
It's funny that we're having these conversations because like they shouldn't even exist, right? They shouldn't they exist because people are in fear of something that people are holding you down, and every time you try to wiggle a little bit more, they squeeze you a little tighter. That's all it is. It fucking you think you're out of the clear, and it's holding you a little tighter, man. Just giving you that little squeeze around your fucking neck, where eventually you tap out. You're gonna tap out, and you're gonna do whatever the fuck they want. And that's a terrible way of living, man. That's existing. And to me, I made a decision a long time ago. I'm not changing for no one. I don't care who they are. I made this for me. And my decision for me is to be with my family and the friends and people I fucking love. I'm gonna go I'll do whatever the fuck I want in the fucking moment. And that's it. So if you got a problem with it, they can gladly show up. I don't care. Like I really don't, dude. I say sit fuck open, fuck everybody. Just do what you know is right and what's best for you. That's it. And if you don't listen to that, and if you end up listening to them and you stay home, you do whatever the fuck you want or whatever they're telling you, you're gonna live a life full of regret. You're gonna have regret. It's gonna be big regret. It's not gonna be the regret that I thought maybe I got my
And on top,
it's not gonna be that. It's not gonna be I thought I got them sick. You know why? Because I don't know who the fuck gets who sick. It's exposure. Nobody knows.
Yeah.
It don't matter. You're gonna say that question can come in your mind no matter what, if you allow it to be there. Because maybe it should be there. But guess what? Who cares? You're not gonna know. They're gonna get it from someone else if that's the case. It's not gonna happen. You can't backtrack and see all the steps you missed along the way to get to the destination we wanted, which we maybe never arrived to. You just gotta fucking do it. Part of living like that, your buddy there, Kurt, Yushuki, how do you say his name? YAS.
Yasuhiko.
Okay. Yashihiko. That guy is on the ball, by the way. He's
He's what?
he's on the ball, on the money about everything lately. He
Yeah.
is
Have you watched any of his videos?
No, but I seen one earlier and it was like, I wanted to go watch if I had to drive. And I was like, you know what, I can't do it right now. I wanted to prepare for this, but man.
Check
it's
out his YouTube channel.
powerful.
It's pretty fucking epic.
Eh,
Yeah, he's like out of the Zen school, but he's not like a traditional Zen guy. He's just got a bunch of his own stuff going on.
I
And
relate to him, man. I
him and
relate
I
to him.
him and I sync up on a bunch of stuff. I would say the first thing that we synced up on was our love for Thomas Paine and his work.
Yep.
Who stood out to me as a visionary thinker who was way beyond his time and age, and he was
And he was a pirate. That's what got me. He was a pirate.
it's crazy. It's crazy, man. He was coming up with shit that was like, this is just like, it doesn't matter what era you live in, this is epic shit. And so, yeah, I mean, that was like one of our first things that we synced up on. And he's had some of the same kind of, metaphysical, weird woo shit experiences that I have.
I have too.
Yeah. So, I mean,
So we still got right there, man.
yeah, that was, bonding over some of these things, but, yeah, he's an epic dude. He's like one of the few people on YouTube or YouTube too, but Facebook and on like the social media where I'm like, dude, I don't even know what you just said, but it was fucking cool.
I get exactly where he's coming from. Everything he says. Like, I might not explain it in person, right? But like, I get it, man.
I
I've been,
gotta check him out.
well, like, I've been deep, man, and within myself. You know what I mean? Like, I've had moments. I went a couple nights where you were barely breathing, dude, and I was on nothing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you go internal. Like, you go really internal, and you really think about what's important, and you really fucking let go. It's unreal. So, like, the shit he talks about, it's like, it's along the lines of that Carl Jung kind of feel. It's and I relate to Jung. It's ironic. Jung's Dreams book was written about the lady next town over from me over here, and I didn't know about that until this year. Like, that's where it was all based on her dreams. It was one of his best friends or something, like some lady. But pretty cool, like ironic, but like it's one of those things that it's amazing, dude. It's amazing how you can go that deep inside yourself. And that right now, I think a lot of people just haven't done that ever.
It's
ever.
not,
Like,
I mean,
really near-death experiences. But
I mean, and yeah, and I was gonna say is like there's a different. You can tell the difference between people who are for mask and people who are against mask. I mean, the people who are for mask, they don't really go into that deep. They don't really go into themselves. They're not internal like we are. They're not deep in thought like we are.
they don't
Yeah. I mean, it's almost as if they're like it's almost as if they're like anti-life.
I doubt they've ever had an NDE.
Yeah.
maybe Antifa, but like maybe not.
I've had two near-death experiences while snow skating. Like, let's see, on the first one, it was like life flashing before my eyes and all that shit. So it's as trippy as it can get, and you can't quite explain it. But yeah, I mean, if you study that stuff, you would go, okay, yeah, that's pretty weird. But if you have it, then you'll know. And then in the second one, where I almost died skiing in super deep powder in the trees one time, if my buddy wasn't behind me, I'd be dead. I would have been dead I think that occurred at about age 40. I would have been dead at 40. And so, it will affect you. It will change your outlook. And,
I would say
if you don't live your life from the standpoint of every day is a good day to die, you're just going to be living from a place of fear, and it's not living very fully. I would say that.
Every
Right.
day is
And
a
I
good
would
day for new. It's the way to
I
go.
would say that going back to you, Kurt, I would say that LSD kind of changed my outlook too, because like you when you have like ego death, and when you realize that you're not just your body, you start, I guess, living your life differently. And I realized that I'm not just my body. You know, like I'm just the consciousness that's in this body.
I'll tell you guys,
So
this is gonna
you know,
relate, Michael. Michael, you're gonna love this right here. So like that night, 2 years. So it's 2 years ago, December 16th, 2018. The doctors came and said, "Hey, I knew this. All right, it's a couple weeks up. I'm gonna share a little bit about this experience since I'm living it a little bit right now. But dude, a couple weeks, I knew I was going. You know what I mean? It was Thanksgiving. We had my family. We knew it was my last Thanksgiving. I was on oxygen, like 4 liters daily, dude. I could barely move. You know, I could barely fucking move, and it was happening, and it was okay because I was tired. You know what I mean? Like all my life, CF. I've been going to the hospital since I was 12. You know, that's the way it is. You accept it. I've had friends, I've had brothers, sisters, people that I know deep that died of this. You know what I mean? Watch them, like some in front of me, you know, and it's fucked. But it is like, say, no, it's your new normal. Well, that is my normal. That's my only life I got. It's the only thing I've ever experienced. That's it. So I knew what was coming. I know I've seen people deteriorate in front of me that were suffering the same way I was at the moment. And I knew exactly what was coming. Doctors told me we got the low back to me. I had a half my lung taken out, tried to get me the transplant. Eventually decided not to do transplant because all these motherfuckers kept doing was putting more shit on my list and saying you had to do this forever. And you might not be able to see family, and it wasn't worth it. Quality of life was not worth it. I went, fuck transplant, dude. I was like, take the fucking shit off. We're done with it. I don't need to talk about it again. And I meant it. And we've talked about it recently, not recently, like over a year ago. I told him, hey, when time comes, we can talk about it again. Besides that, no need to pay fucking attention to it. And I don't. I just don't no more, ever. And like I'll ride this bitch till the wheels go off. That's the way I will look at it. But we went to that night, man. I ended up a couple weeks, my arms went blue. Body that night, my body started sucking in. I was like turning blue, purple. My stomach was kibbing out in front of the doctors. It was like my body was fucking seizing. You know, that was the way it was. And I knew it. I recognized it. I was like, this is it. And I felt like it was over, dude. I was like, this is it. It's the way it is. Shit you couldn't do, you can't do. That's it. You know, you got to accept it, move on. But it's ironic, Michael, because I felt like I say this all the time. I said, no, well, I don't talk about it much anymore, but I've said this to everybody. People that know me will tell you this. I felt like this is just the vehicle I was given for the ride. My soul is eternal. It goes on. There was something else there, man. And I did see light. And I did feel like I touched light. I did go over something else. It was a weird fucking thing. And then when I woke up, I got better, man. Better than I ever been for years. Years, 5 years. I was on oxygen. 3 days later, I was running a fucking couple miles, dude. It was unreal. Stroke symptoms went away. I had strokes a few years ago. I couldn't look up. I couldn't look to my right. I could look up, look to my right. I could feel my face. I couldn't feel my face before. I could feel my arm. I swear, it went away. And there was something there where it was like, it's funny too that we're talking about this, Kirk. I've been wanting to say this to you for a long time now. And there was one thing I made a post. I talked about this briefly, and you said like something about a prayer thing, and I want you like I'd love to hear your story. And I want well, it's more of a you want like you said something to say you give an extra life. I went no, I think it was more of you shall not ask, but you ask, you shall receive. Because I prayed for more time, dude. And
Uh-huh.
like a godly thing, but like I've never been like that. I've never been a guy. I've always felt like, why me? a long time in my life. Like I didn't understand the idea of suffering, CF, why my genetics were the way they were, and like that's the way it was. Like I'm one of seven. One's adopted, two half brothers, no, three half brothers, two full sisters. I'm the only one with CF. And the way I look at it was like, this is it, that's the way it is. Fucking, but like the Aztecs, they do believe that you did something in your, you kind of lived that karma, your past life, whatever it is. So like maybe I killed some people before, I guess, Like I feel like I some in the past life, who knows? But like but dude, the soul, man, like I've grown so much since my divorce in general, but since getting clean, when I started, I'm drinking whiskey now, but I'm not taking oxy. I was on opiates. I was heading down a bad road, and I started holding myself accountable. It's funny, like you got the race thing going on right now, but To Kill a Mockingbird, everybody hates that book with everything. You see all everybody trying to pump it out. Well, I'll tell you what, To Kill a Mockingbird, weirdest thing ever. I never read in fucking grammar school, ever, ever. And in class, I fucking read that book. And there was one lady in there, I don't even remember her character name, but she was fucking dying of cancer. And she was addicted to morphine. You know what I'm talking about? That book? Well, she got off morphine before she died. And when I got clean from oxys, I thought to myself, I was like, you know what? I'm fucking sick. This is it. I'm going out the way I fucking want to go out. And so when people say, hey, that book don't help people, well, guess what, dude? Fucking here we are, man, talking about it. And that book definitely made a fucking, it instilled something in my mind, man. It's all perspective. You gotta figure out what you want and don't hold anybody else back. And that's the opposite is going on now. Everybody's holding each other back.
Yeah.
Besides, especially even the people that don't understand it, to the people that do, to try to help them. You make it hard for us not to want to help you. Like, how hard is that, dude, to say? Like, it's like, I don't want to say that. I don't want to help you, but fuck, man. You are really making it hard in my life to try to do something good for my people I love, And that's against humanity, man. Like, if you are a person who really does care about people, not saying it, not fucking pulling a Biden or a fucking, even a Trump dude, saying like they care about, who gives a fuck? If you care about people, you hold yourself accountable. That's it. Nothing else.
Right.
Oh,
I would say from the highest level existential perspective, you have to get to the point where you are feeling blessed for every fucking thing that's happened in your life, no matter how bad the shit is. And if you get to that point, then you will finally be over everything. So everything that almost killed you, every fucked up piece of shit, whether it's karma or it's like just like the worst parents in the world or whatever it is, and everybody has a story to tell. But if you get to the point where you can go, you know what, I'm happy that shit happened to me because it's made me a better person or a better soul or a better spirit or whatever it is, doesn't matter how you phrase it. If you get to the point where you're grateful for every fucked up thing that's happened in your life, you will finally be over it all. That's the best advice I can give.
That's how I feel, man. I feel that way. Like it's fucked up to say. It's like, for real though. It's like, it feels fucked up to say, but for real, like I'm happy as fuck that I went through it. You know what I mean? It opened me to a whole new life and a whole new possibility. And I found strength in myself that I never thought I had. It went into something that's so deep and so fucking bad. When I go in the hospital, man, like now, like I'm old. Like you never know what's going to happen. Like, this year I've had a couple of close experiences. I've had like 4 or 5 near-death experiences at least, like where like I was gone. You know what I mean? And recently, well, the ones that happened, like I had one this year, I woke up wicked happy, dude. I was like, it's all good. I'm fucking good. I said, honestly, I said, touch my face and make sure I could feel my face. I was like, I'm good. We're good, dude. Don't worry about it. I was like, here I am, man. Whatever, dude. Like, it's another day is another day.
Yeah, I think everybody has to get to that point. And it doesn't matter the crazy shit that's gone on in your life and how bad it's been. You have to get to that point because otherwise you will always be the victim. And
You're the
I
victim.
mean, I was really glad that 5 or 6 years ago there was not a weapon in my house, or I would have fucking swallowed a bullet. So lots of people have those stories to tell, but you have to be able to look back on that and go, I'm glad for all of that shit that happened. And it happened exactly as it needed to happen, because now I'm a better person for it. I think you have to get to
Yeah.
that point.
Yeah, you absolutely. And then the journey to get to that point fucking just sucks.
It's all perspective, dude. It's how you look at
It's all, but yeah, and I've I guess my story, growing up, I guess around time, middle school, I was bullied, was cutting myself, was suicidal. Um, and then it just got to a point where I just had to search for who I really was and who I was going to be. And then, I went to Florida, got homeless, really started discovering who I really wanted to be. And then I guess this year happened. My mom died. And then you get to a point where, you're strong enough to understand that all this stuff has to happen in order for you to get to that point where you're blessed. So
I gotta
that's
say,
so
and Michael,
yeah,
with your mom, dude. I gotta say that with your mom. Like the JPP thing, like about like being the strongest guy at the funeral, I wasn't there.
yeah,
Like, but I gotta say, when you talk about your mom, man, it's cool as fuck. You can tell that you were that strong man that she wanted there. And well, no matter what you went through, that's fucking cool, man. You gotta recognize that, because some people crumble, dude, and you didn't. Like, it's this year,
yeah.
2020,
I know.
fucking 2020, dude, and here you are still, man. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and I was thinking to myself, I was like, you got to be a strong person for to keep running a business, to keep running your life, to have a relationship, to have a stable relationship. You have to be one strong dude or one strong woman, because stuff like that, and even taking care of my mom, and even like being the last person to have a conversation with her, it still takes like strength, and it's like, a lot of people would have just, they would have crumbled, especially here and now, where
And
everyone's
Michael, I
talking.
gotta ask you. So like your last conversation with your mom, were you in person?
Yeah, I was
Okay.
right next to her bedside, man.
People, you're giving that up right now. Other people are giving that up. Like, it's unfortunate, but it happens every day, dude.
Yeah,
I didn't think I was gonna wake up. I didn't think I had Christmas 2 years ago. I really didn't. And the family didn't either. Dude, I had Thanksgiving was an epic night. Me and my sister went out Black Friday. Fucking hilarious. Some funny stuff happened. And but like, it's one of those days, like the greatest days of my life, man. It really was probably the greatest day of my life. And you got to be there with your mother. And sometimes people's last moments are the best moments of other people's lives. And that is not happening anymore. They're
right,
taking it away from them. And they're literally robbing you of those moments that could make your life so much better in such a big way. From those last words of people you care about the most saying it to you and spending it with you. And you're telling people you
right,
can't even see Joe for fucking Christmas. How many more Christmas people got? I don't know how many I got, man. Mine are flat out whatever the fuck happens, like everybody else's. But mine are definitely more limited. We all know that. I'm not
right.
naive to it, and I enjoy it. But like, it's people need to recognize that you almost missed that moment, Michael. I
Yeah, I
hate to
know.
say it, but you almost
I
did.
know. And I've got to, and as she died, I the last thing I ever said to her was, I love you. So she got that. She was on two, like the last time I saw her alive was she
She
was on
felt
two.
it, man. She felt it because you were there. It's
Yeah.
like that energy, like we were saying before, you have that energy. It all goes in rhythms. You know, it's like when you're in person with someone, you're in tune with them and you're there, especially in present in the moment. There's a moment there that's instilled in you forever. That
Yeah.
no camera can capture, that no Zoom meeting, you can get.
Right.
It's there between you two together.
You
That's
can
that's what
you
taken
can
away.
yeah, you can, it's not even just a presence, it's a touch. Like, I touched her and I hugged her. I told her I whispered in her like I love you. So she got
It's
that.
beautiful, man. It's cool.
So
It's beautiful, dude. I'm
and
sure.
it's
100% sure that might have made her life, dude. Think about it that way. And were you saying that, her feeling that moment?
yeah,
It probably was a great fucking ending and beginning to her next journey. And the
yeah,
next journey too, beginning to the next. You know what I mean? I really do feel
absolutely.
like you come in contact with the same souls in a different way. I really do. Since that whole episode, I feel like that. Like it's I feel like you run into each other in a different way and it has bigger impacts throughout. But there are significant people that do make a significant impact on you. And
Absolutely.
you carry from generation to generation or whatever,
Or from
but
lifetime to lifetime.
and that's it's I can't believe like my mother, I didn't have a grandmother really growing up, but my mother had a mother, and she's around, she's in a nursing home, and like I see her get ripped apart about this. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to sound like a dick, but like, my grandparents, I don't really know them, and I really, eh, besides my mother being as her mother, I don't really care about like getting to know, or I just don't, besides that. But when I see her with her, like she's happy. And then when she hasn't seen her so fucking long, you're like, what is going on? You know what I mean? Like you can't take that away from people. And
Right.
dude, it's
And,
I don't want to say it's a revolution, but like fucking A, man. If there ever was a time for one, it's now.
I
Get the
mean, they're trying to. I mean, literally. I mean, but it's like they're trying to take connection away from people, and that's what I'm seeing.
you're trying to belittle you into your own mind. And if you
Yeah.
never worked on your own mind, you're gonna have the wrong things telling you what to do. And eventually you're just gonna fucking be paralyzed. You're just gonna sit there and do everything they want. It's the exact opposite of what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to fucking challenge yourself. You gotta
Yeah.
go. You don't need anybody telling you what you need to do in your life. You don't. You just flat out don't. You know what you gotta do. You just
Right.
you just don't want to listen to that voice because you think he's so weak or she, where you don't want to, you're so incompetent in everything you do that you're like, you know what? Let me check this instead, make sure it's right. I had a
Right.
g- I had a guy tell me over here that I was telling him what my pulmonary doctors were telling me. Best in the country, dude. Okay, I do have one pulmonary doctor who is an old man, but he definitely throws out those whole Bezos donations to Mass General, dude, all the time. He's like, don't worry about that. It's just a Bezos donation right there. Like the way he says it, he's like, yep, this is probably happening, or this is happening. Here you go, run with it, dude. One of those things. Like fucking these guys, dude, they don't care. They don't care, man. And it's
Yeah. So I mean,
perfect.
I mean, the great tragedy of 2020 is
Hey, Kurt, what's up with you?
hospitals and the medical industry deciding that people
The mic,
with
right?
end-of-life issues can't be together. It's like, what are you, fucking insane? Somebody's dying in the hospital of cancer, and we're worrying about COVID. I mean, that's
right.
just, it's completely beyond the pale of any rational explanation. And so,
Hey, Kurt, your mic sounds a little messed up.
okay, let me see if I can. Any better?
No, it's like echoing a little bit.
Okay, that's just gotta be the connection. Sorry.
All right. Well, it's all good.
I mean, it's right in front of me.
Everybody turn up their volume, people. Turn it up. Right there, right in the eye. Epic. No, but it's like,
It's just that's the shit that pisses me off in 2020, especially, is like you're talking about these end of life issues and people's moms and dads, relatives are in hospitals and they're dying. And I just think that's a really important thing to transition properly from one life into whatever else is next. And it doesn't matter what your conception of that
Big
is,
time.
but that's his big shit. And these people are fucking with that, man. They're like, oh yeah, you got cancer. No, you can't come in and say goodbye to mom and dad because they're dying from cancer because they might get COVID. Oh, fuck.
But you know what though, Kirk? The thing about that is that it opens up a market to where now private nursing homes can flourish now, because now everyone's gonna want to see them. Everyone's gonna want to see their dying parent. So the market's open for a non-restrictive access to, I guess, nursing homes. So it's not, instead of everyone's using public hospitals and nursing homes, they're gonna start using private stuff. Private hospitals, private nursing homes and whatnot.
Yeah, but
So,
that's what you think, Michael. That's what you think. You're getting a little further on that because not everybody can afford that, dude.
right. I
Like
mean,
that's a big thing with school too, dude. This is where the vaccine is going to happen. They're going to go. They're telling people they got to go public school. You got to take these vaccines.
yeah.
Well, what's going to happen is they're going to fucking go to school and they're going to stick those fucking kids with that vaccine. I'm not going to tell
I
you.
heard. Isn't
They're not
Matt?
gonna tell you that.
Isn't where Justin? Isn't where your states where like they can get a vaccine without their parents knowing?
Yep. That's what they say. But Bud, how many people cheat on their taxes every year? Hunter Biden took $3.5 million. People don't know about. Oh, they
Yeah.
do.
I mean, just saying. It's just like that's gonna. I was like, oh, that's this is not gonna fly. That is not going to fly
Dude,
at all.
it's going to fly, dude. I'm telling you, it's a blue state.
Ooh.
Where I'm at, it's a blue state, and dude, people fucking hate me over here right now, but they love me because like I'm the sick kid that tells everybody I just want the best, and they all know it. You know what I mean? That's really it. It flat out is. It's the only thing that saves me, dude.
Right.
Kurt, by the way, that's the only reason why I'm not deactivated. I think it's because fucking I am the sick kid, and I just want the best.
Well,
But
I mean, Justin. I mean, you don't post like that controversial stuff.
I can't, dude. I don't know, man. Kurt's memes are pretty fucking nasty, dude.
Yeah. See, but it's the craziest thing because I've almost gotten deactivated over like the Ubermensch memes. But
Dude,
I
Jordan
sure.
Hall got deactivated. Jordan Hall. That's ridiculous. Leo. What was it? So dude, when Leo and them got all deactivated, when I shared that, and then like I was surprised fucking Kurt was on there. I was like, holy shit, dude. I think it really was like I told all the P guys, like, dude, it's hilarious because Kurt has been complaining that he hasn't been deactivated with you guys. Jordan Hall
I mean, but you know what though, Kirk, the thing about Kirk is he makes his own memes. So like each meme has like I guess someone told me like each meme has like a fingerprint. So if you make like, oh, James told me that. So if you make custom memes, they're not gonna like, they're not going to basically they're not gonna check you on that. But if you keep making like the same,
well, here, let me give you the lowdown on that. So I would say about 10% of what I post is my own custom stuff. I would say about 20 or 30% is stuff I screen scrape off all over every social media because I'm on all of them.
I
would say about the rest of it is a cooperative effort. So I mean, I've always encouraged people to send me stuff, and then there's a lot of people they're like, you know what, that's too spicy for me. I can't post that. And I get tons of DMs where people are like, dude, this is so hysterical, but I can't post it, man. I can't post it. And I'll be like, fuck yeah, I'm in.
I guess I'm gonna start sending you memes, dude.
Oh yeah. So I mean, I would say a good 20 to 30% of what I post shows up in private message and DMs. Yeah, and then maybe about 10% is stuff that I come up with on my own from scratch. And so here was an interesting test. So there was a meme that was getting people booted off of Facebook like crazy. So this is when COVID first started up, and it was when the murder hornets came in. And so they show a 5G cell tower, and it said, let's see, murder hornets make COVID pollen, and the only way to get rid of them it's like to take them out with semi-automatic weapons. And so, it's got like a 5G tower, it's got murder hornets, and you're like supposed to shoot them fucking out of the 5G tower with your AR-15. So of course that's gonna fucking get people mad, right? So I did. And so I was like, okay, well, let me try a technique here. So I completely redid that meme, but I did it with all my own visuals and all my own text, and they still fucking banned me. So they got me no matter what. But so I mean, the fingerprint thing is legit. So what you're talking about with like there's fingerprints on stuff, yeah, it's absolutely legit. I know it. I mean, I've been in IT almost all my life. So they're looking for digital signatures. There's a certain amount of stuff that the algorithm will find based on digital signature. But you can change it up and they can still get you. But I'll tell you what saved me was a couple people alerted me to some people who were on my friends list. And somebody was like, dude, check this guy out, man. He's like fucking Antifa all the way. And I started looking at this guy's feed and I was like, oh, fuck, this guy's on my friends list, man. For sure, he's just going to fucking hate everything I post. And so I got rid of about 2 or 3 people from my friends list and I have not been banned since. So that's a big thing.
Good. I got
really?
When it comes to like Leo and Jordan and all those guys, I mean, like some of the back channel stuff I got is that, you had some people who had like a serious fucking hard on for proprietarian stuff. And they were just hunting. And so they were trying to get everybody who was P banned. And I think that's what happened. I mean, like if you look at Jordan's stuff, Jordan would post so cryptically, it was hard to even tell what the fuck he was talking about half the time. I mean, he would never stick out a serious position that would get him in trouble. So like nobody was more careful about what they were posting than Jordan, and he got banned.
I think what happened with Jordan was honestly, it was because so I got a pretty big connection in here. Like even me letting this go is like who gives a fuck, right? Whatever. So like the TSM pages, Truth Media, the Justin Spire is a sister page of TSM. I actually know Sean Seberg. And I know Hayes. We're good friends. We grew up together.
Okay.
And Leo is one of the partners with them at TSM. So when they all got wiped out, I was administrator on a couple of those pages still. The only thing that saved me was the Justin Spire page. I really think it was. And like it's kind of
I was an admin on those pages too. And and they were like encouraging me to post more and stuff, but it was like I'm spread so thin. There's only so much I can do.
Oh, dude, you just do your own thing. That's the way I look at it. Like he's my best friend. Like he really is, and like person every day. I know him. I know his family. We've known each other since I was 6 fucking years old. You know what I mean? Like it's we chill in or out. And it's. I knew it was coming with him. That was pretty obvious. But like with me, I'm doing my own thing. Like I just do my own thing. That's it. You know what I mean? Like you want to add me as a thing, that's okay. I'll back it up. Like we're a community. Like, I'll help you out. That's it. And like, but we do have a lot of the same beliefs. You know what I mean? That's it. That's why we get along. But we're not the same people. You know what I mean? You see things in different lights. We have different experiences. You know what I mean? But friends where we can weigh. When I have some shit going on in my head, Hayes is one of my guys to go to. We talk it out. When Hayes has some shit going on in his head, I'm one of the guys he goes to. Talk it out. That's it. You're friends. You're boys. That's it, right? We see each other every day. We're striving for the same kind of thing. We want our families to be better. That's it. We want our community to be better. But they went after the Jordan Hall thing to me. It's fucking hilarious in a weird way. It's like, because like I know the connection with Hayes and Jordan Hall, and it makes me think it's more targeted than you think by algorithms. You know what I mean? They go by what you made videos, who you talk to in Messenger, who you have posted more of, because like it's that thing. And then you got the IDW, like you, Nick, like you are, Kurt. The IDW stuff, Jim Brett. That thing with Jim was like posting. I was like, dude, we're all in the same fucking fight, man. If people don't realize this, we're all in the same fight. We're the weaklings. We are. That's it. That's it. Hard pill to fucking swallow. We're not on top of the world, dude. They are.
That's kind of, you know what though, funny you mention that, because it's kind of the reason why I post like motivational memes or like aesthetic photos, is because, you know, I'm just trying to camouflage.
Your ass.
You know? Like I can't, like seriously, man. Like even those posts with, I'm sure you guys seen it. It's with like when I was talking about Texas seceding. I had to delete those
I
posts.
love it. No, don't delete that shit, man. You keep that fucking up. No, never delete it,
And
Michael.
it's not the, you know, see, here's the thing. It's not the fact that
Ain't
that
that
the
post
content.
might find you the fucking dream woman you always wanted. I know you're happily where you're at, but for me, I'm looking at a 7 to a 9 not wearing a mask. I'm a small guy.
Yeah, it's true. It's just that, you know, it's not even the fact that I'm posting that. It's just the fact that people's comments, it's like, man, y'all got to comment down with the comments.
Fuck
You
the
know,
comments. That's what you gotta do. You don't look at the comments. You might look at them, make you laugh, and you respond to the one. That's it. Like I respond to Kurt all the time because he's fucking hilarious. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's gonna make me laugh.
I mean, there's no question that you can confuse the algorithm by posting all sorts of crazy shit. And so, I mean, there's a method to my madness. A lot of the stuff that I do,
Mine
like
too.
I'll do the same thing. I'll post, you know, nature photos, and I don't post that just to fuck with the algorithm. I post stuff that I like. I'm not being disingenuous, but I am
You know, in the back of your mind where it's
but
going.
100%, I am posting a huge variety of content so that I don't get pigeonholed quite so easily. So it's like, no, I'm not just talking politics, you know, I'm talking every subject out there. And so I think it makes it harder for them to pigeonhole you and target you. But I'm pretty at a loss for words and trying to figure out why I haven't been banned from Facebook.
Me too.
because like I've had a problem for I'm gonna say at least 10 years, where I've done a lot of international travel, and when I go in and out of the country, I get hassled big fucking time. So I'll be going in and out with my family, and like when I was still married, and my wife and my kid would go right through fucking customs, and they would freaking black flag my entry every time. And I had an INS guy look me in the face. He was on the computer, and I'm giving him my passport and all this shit. And he says to me, "You're almost famous." Seriously? What the fuck does that even mean? So Kurt. I mean, and I was, yeah, he says, "You're almost famous." And like I said, I've been doing this shit. I've been doing this shit since '94. So I've been posting subversive shit since '94. I've been against everything that's mainstream for 25 years, 26 years. So I was like, okay. And I mean, like back in the old days, this is like on the ACL message boards a long time ago. It was the only place that was free speech back then, and like around 2000. We used to post all sorts of crazy shit. We would intentionally post shit that would trigger algorithms from the FBI and the NSA and all this shit, because we were fucking with them. So I'm guessing that's how I ended up on their fucking list, because I was just hanging with a whole bunch of subversives, and they were all free thinkers, and it was like, we're just gonna fuck with the system as much as we can. They're all anarchists, and they're all panarchists, and they're all crazy people. So I'm kind of at a loss for why I haven't been banned. And
I mean, you got it. I mean, Kurt. I mean, the thing about it is that your content's like the memes you post is like taking prop. It's almost like Joe Biden memes. Like I don't think you post like that much subversive stuff. Not the stuff I've seen. The stuff I've seen is like, I'm wondering if like, is that a Fed post, or, you know, if that's anything else. But I think that's the reason why you get banned. Is just that there's a lot more extremist content out there than yours.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, I'm 100% against the COVID thing. I think it's a plandemic, a scamdemic. So yeah. I've not been shy about saying that COVID is the 9/11 of 2020. I'm 100%. I've been very outspoken about 9/11 being an inside job. I post a shit out of Epstein memes, Ghislaine Maxwell, all of that shit. I've gone fucking all in on everything that is neoliberal and neoconservative. I go against that 100%.
Right.
So But I mean, I don't do like really stupid shit where you're just like, okay, that's gonna get me fucking banned. I mean, every now and then I'll get pissed and I'll go, oh, fuck you guys, I'm gonna post this and it'll probably get me banned and I don't give a shit. So I mean, yeah, I mean, there was like 5-6 months ago, I probably posted 20 memes in an evening, and every single person who knew me was like, fuck, I'll see you in 30 days.
Yeah, I think I was one
you
of
just
them.
posted a bunch of stupid shit just trying to get yourself banned. And I was like, yeah, I did actually, because I'm spending way too much time on social media and I need to get work done. And I was
You know, it's funny. You guys want to know what's epic? For real.
But
I share at least 50% of my posts are curse, okay? Probably yes. Think about Kurt, for real. Think about how many times I share your memes all the fucking time, okay?
Yeah.
I have never, ever been banned. Ever. Not even
Yeah.
20.
like, dude, seriously,
Nothing.
this is stupid shit. Like,
I
I'm
share the
not
same
even
shit
posting.
Hayes does.
Like,
I share the same shit. He's my best friend.
oh my
I
god,
share all this stuff, dude. I'm fucking mind.
bro.
I don't understand it, dude. And you know, hey, we know what they attack.
still-
And I'll tell you what, it's fucking mind blowing. It's
I actually have posted stuff and not gotten banned that other people got banned for.
I've
So
reported.
there are times where I'm like, maybe I've got on a guardian angel at Facebook. I don't know what it is. But you know, I am literally
Jordan Hall.
I'm like, but I am literally the black sheep of my family. So I mean, if I give you some of my family history, be like, damn, is this guy like fucking? Is he like a covert shill? So
Let's hear it, dude. Come on, man. We're on the
here it
podcast.
is.
Out there,
So
brother.
my uncle was a commander on like one of those boats that you see in Apocalypse Now. He actually knew John Kerry in Vietnam and was one of the guys who came out against John Kerry when he ran for president. He was a swift boat commander. That's my uncle. His son was CIA, who just retired. He's got pictures of him with every fucking mover and shaker in the world, and he was stationed in Tel Aviv for a number of years. Another uncle was FBI. He was special agent in charge in the Sacramento branch. I have two cousins who were Navy commanders, retired. One flew planes off carrier decks and was an instructor at Top Gun, both East Coast and West Coast, Patuxent, and was a commander at Fallon, Nevada, before he
Guys,
retired.
I'll be right back. All right, I'll be right back.
Another one was the communications guy for the U.S. fleet out of Yokosuka in Japan. So I'm literally like the fucking, you know, the loser of the family when it comes to credentials, because I'm just like a regular guy. So, I mean, at times I'm like, gee, I wonder if like some of that shit runs cover for me or not. I don't know. It's weird because I know a lot of fucking people.
Well, it's good though. It's like if anybody listen to this, like listen to what Kurt just said. Look at the background he came from. Like he's not just blowing this out of his fucking ass. You get that? Like and I'm sure someone's gonna tell you, well, we'll look up the facts. Okay, but like either way, we know where it's going from, dude. Dude, that's what I was saying with the CS stuff. Okay, I told them what the mask did to me. Like I had a trace of TB, dude, in my fucking sputum culture, and it was because people wear a mask around me. I don't wear a fucking mask, and somebody had the balls tell me, well, maybe it's because you're not wearing a mask. And when all of a sudden I catch TB, you fucking idiot. It's catching it in front of him, obviously. It don't wait 34 years, all of a sudden I know why he's like growing this shit. You know what I mean? No. Like fucking, you get a little trace of it. It's because it's in front of people's face and they're fucking standing near you with this fucking thing that's hanging on them. That's it. And whoever else breathing on it. But like, I told them that, and they were like, well, we'll look at the data. I was like, I just told you from the horse's mouth, dude. Though one of the best pulmonologists in the whole fucking country, guy runs Mass General, the head guy of the lung transplant ward in Mass General, Brigham and Women's Hospital, #1 CF center in the country. And you tell me we're going to check the data on CNN. What the fuck is wrong with people? That's what it comes down to. Now you got Kurt telling everybody his background from his family. And I guarantee there's gonna be, well, let's say like 70% that's gonna say, he's lying.
I mean, with my background, my dad was like, my dad was in the military. Pretty sure my grandfather was in the military too, but my dad was the special forces. He was like a ranger, and he was actually involved. I don't know if you remember the time when they were hostages in Iran. The first time they tried to rescue them, he was actually involved in that mission. And he was actually stationed. There was like two teams. There was a team in Jersey, and he was a team over there, and he was stationed in Jersey. So, and yeah, he told me a lot about the Iranians, but it just goes to show you, it's just like all of us come from strong backgrounds.
Not
So
mine, dude. Mine's flat out going in the army, nothing.
My cousin who was CIA was in Mosul, and it was his team that he was working with that actually got Saddam Hussein's sons. He was working with 82nd Airborne.
That's awesome.
So he won't give you much. So the way you communicate with him,
that's a good man.
The way you communicate with him is like you ask him interesting questions and you sort of read how he reacts. Because he's very, very serious about taking his oath of secrecy and stuff. And so he won't give you much. And I've talked to his dad, and his dad is the guy my uncle who I was talking about being in Nam and riding on one of those boats, out in the Delta and doing all that crazy shit that you see in movies. I mean, he lived that. And so even his dad is like, I can't get anything out of him, And so, but when I see him, I ask him all these creative questions, and it's kind of funny. But he has many stories to tell about being in northern Iraq during that particular invasion and stuff. And one of the interesting things was he would be like, so we were like kicking ass and making progress, and then suddenly the politicians got involved. And he was like, it was just, intel working with military and special ops. We got a lot done, and things were moving along. And he was like, as soon as the politicians got involved, the decisions had to be bounced off higher levels of authority. He's like, everything got fucked up, and you could tell he was not a fan of that. And then also, he's not a fan of Brennan. He got in when it was George Tenet, and I think he felt that Tenet was an honorable person. And my sense of it is that one of the reasons he got out a little bit earlier than he had to, and I mean, he retired when he could retire, but pretty sure he got out because he doesn't think Brennan is a person. I think he thinks he's a fuck stick. And my read on Brennan is that he's just fucking bad news, really bad news.
So is this a guy? You said Brandon, right? Or
Brennan is the CIA chief.
Okay. Oh shit.
And if you look at
Michael, oh shit.
If you look at Brennan's background, do a deep dive on his bio. He is legitimately a communist sympathizer who was in charge of the CIA.
Michael's like all worried.
Because I've heard similar things, but yeah, I've heard similar things about him, especially under Obama when Obama was president. But damn, you just confirmed what I just saw on the internet. So
Michael, 2020 has blown Michael's mind.
I mean, it's just, I mean, here's the thing, man. I mean, look, dude, everyone talks about how they were red pill and shit. I was red pill since I was like middle school. So I understood. See, the thing is, I understood a lot of things. I just didn't know why it was happening. And now I know why shit is happening.
Dude, what I love about this podcast is great because Michael was the first episode that I never released, actually. We got to release that. I had Stephen Bayer in a couple times too, which is great. But I had Michael. My first one was on the Cough It Up, and we talked for like 2.5 hours. And ever since then, Michael started going where with the Biden and the Trump, and he was like, I can't go vote. And me and Adam were like, you gotta go fucking vote, dude. And it's funny, it's Georgia, where the whole fucking thing's happening, dude. Because Michael was like,
No,
I'm not gonna go vote, man. I was like, you gotta go vote. It's your duty to humanity to fucking stand up. And he was like, all right. And then every time we see Georgia on the fucking news, I think of Michael being like, yeah, motherfucker, you got up there. Like, that's what's up. I'm like, dude,
no, dude,
man up,
here's the
dude.
thing.
Right.
But you know what though? The funny thing, Justin, funniest thing, I actually didn't go vote because I was sick. So I was just like, I'm not gonna stand in line.
Pussy.
But you know what? No. Here's the
That's
thing. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. For what my friends have told me is that when they were voting, when they were putting in Trump, their votes didn't really count. Like they would take Sharpies and just X them out and shit.
Oh, wait. Okay. Break this down.
So
Break this down.
okay.
For everybody so they hear this, okay? Because it's the first time I'm hearing
All
it.
right.
Hear it.
Those.
I
All
heard
right. So for those. Right. So for those who are not in Georgia, some shit was going down, especially in certain voting booths, right? In certain voting locations. My friend, she actually voted for Trump and then had her vote. And one of the staff members changed her vote and told her that, oh, we need Biden in the office. So the shit out of Georgia.
This is epic.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm just like, the shit out of Georgia is actually true, because if it happened to my friend, it's gonna happen to me too. And then she said that she was given a Sharpie. She was given a Sharpie and like it sharpied out and whatnot. So it's like it was like no matter what, my vote would have been changed.
Michael, this is great that you're saying this, because I know Michael, where we talk all the time. And online, okay, so you say online friends, whatever. Well, Michael's one of them where we talk all the time. We message each other. We actually talk, like, and I know Michael, like, we were just talking about his mother, for God's sakes. Like, I know I seen what he went through online stuff, but like, we have talked, physical connection, conversations like this. He's telling you the fucking truth. That's it. Now, you can listen to what the fucking want. This guy's telling you the fucking truth. He's telling you about someone he cares about, who's telling him the truth, and he knows it. That's it. You don't need nothing else.
We're also seeing an unprecedented phenomenon. So you have thousands and thousands of people across these critical states who are filing affidavits that say, here's what I saw, here's what I experienced. This has never happened before. And so that alone is a phenomenon that is worthy of lots of attention. That you have regular citizens coming forward and saying, I've seen some crazy shit. This doesn't make sense. I saw the Sharpies, or I saw suddenly a giant suitcase of ballots.
Or the fucking video in Georgia, man.
Yeah, so I mean,
the fucking video. I was like, yo, that's hard evidence.
Yeah, exactly. And so
big time. As hard as it gets.
People are like, show me the evidence. It's like, the evidence is right there. How many regular U.S. citizens who don't want to get involved are signing affidavits? And if you sign an affidavit and that shit ain't truthful, somebody can come after you for freaking perjury. And that's serious shit. If somebody really wants to make it into serious shit, yeah, you can end up in fucking jail for perjury. So who wants to expose themselves to that? Nobody wants to. And suddenly there's thousands of people in each of these states who are like, I've seen some shit. That is worthy of attention.
Yeah. I'll tell you exactly how we got here. We got here because people fucking lie constantly about little fucking things in their life, or they just let it slip, or it's like, no biggie, this ain't gonna affect us. You know what I mean? Now they know that what happened here. Michael's friend here, like, they know it, but they're searching for the wrong answer. They're searching for an answer that doesn't exist. Only you know what I mean? Only in your minds. It is what it is. These fucking people lied. That's it. That is it. Nothing else needs to be explained. They lied. and they stole your election. And matter of fact, the people that told you your fucking vote counts is not making it count. They're saying you don't count.
And that, you know what though, and that's why Justin. That's why I hesitated. I was hesitating before just to vote because it's like, the people who are telling me to vote tend to vote a Democrat. So I'm just like, I think you're gonna change my vote. It should.
I said it to you, man. I said it to you, me. So it's Kurt. We had a podcast, me, Michael, and Adam Rodas on the last Michael Bell on the Sasha Bell episode, and we couldn't share it because Michael is one daring motherfucker. Put that way, all right? Like, that's what we'll do it, all right? We could not share it, okay? It like that. It was daring.
I said something.
After he said it, dude, I gotta wait to figure out a way to clip this. And he goes, thank you. I was like, yep. I was like, dude, all I care about is safety. Let's do it, So here we are. But fucking, I was right, dude, right? I was fucking right. I told you guys something's going to happen. Biden was going to win illegally. Illegally. Here we are, dude.
Yeah.
Going
into this, I really thought that Trump would take countermeasures.
I can't believe they did it. I can't believe they actually fucking did it. They actually went for it, dude. Who does that?
When you look at the lead up to it, so you had Biden hiding in a basement, not doing any rallies, nobody showing up. You got Trump out there in like a rural Pennsylvania, and it's freezing cold, and 50,000 people show up, and there's like, people come out and they're driving their trucks around with Trump flags, and they're like with their boats in Florida and all this stuff. So this is crazy. This is not going to be close.
Good.
So it was like, there's going to be a big red wave. So, and then I had friends who were like, dude, man, they're going to cheat. There's going to be fraud. What the fuck? I'm like, they'll take countermeasures. They got this shit worked out. Don't worry about it, man. It'll be fine. Then suddenly it's like, oh, fuck, they don't have it worked out.
Well, they do.
It's not fine.
You're wrong, Kurt. Wrong. You're wrong right here. I'm going to correct you on this. They are right. They did have countermeasures.
No, so yes.
No. Listen.
Exactly.
Listen, the countermeasure was to let it be.
Right.
They're going to expose. They're going to let it be, and they're going to fucking capitalize. Because Trump was not getting in no matter what.
Right.
He knew it. He was like, you know what? We're going to let them capitalize on it and be so whatever. And by the way, the boat parade thing, it started right here, bud. Newburyport, Mass. was the first boat parade. And I had Stephen Bayer on the podcast that day. It was epic. Dude.
So when I say countermeasures, I'm talking about like they're actively preventing fraud, okay? But what they did was they were proactive because they knew where the fraud was going to occur and they tracked it, okay? And so the proof of that is if you watch that Arizona hearing where they trotted out a bunch of people. Well, the very first guy was a dude who was working with Russell Ramsland's group. I need to refresh.
We're advertising him right there for you.
I need to refresh the Kraken.
Let's get the old Kraken going. Hey, Kurt, put that Kraken up. Maybe we'll go get a sponsor.
Yeah, so that'd be awesome.
Hey, we're gonna influence it.
I want to get sponsored by the Kraken. So anyway, what happened is, so this guy who's like a former military intel, he testifies in Arizona, and he's working with Ramsland. And he basically says, look, we're watching the traffic in and out of Frankfurt, which is where the server was for Seidel and for SmartTech and all those guys, or Smartmatic and all those guys. And they're watching the traffic going in and out of Frankfurt. So they're being proactive. They're not just reacting to what happened. They're watching the fraud take place in real time. So yes, they did employ countermeasures because they're tracking it so that they can prove it. And so we know that now. And then the interesting thing is when you start looking at all of these people like Russell Ramsland, who's out of Dallas, and Lynn Wood out of Atlanta, and Sidney Powell, all these people know each other. This is not just like random fucking bullshit. It's like, as it turns out, all these people know each other. So there's been a serious proactive counteroffensive to prove that there was this massive fraud taking place. And so the reason people are like, geez, how come you guys haven't done anything? How come Barr hasn't done anything? How come the FBI is sitting on all this shit? And it's because this had to come out. You cannot fix our system if elections are allowed to be digitally manipulated. And I remember like the 2018 election, there was some really bizarre results happening. So if you looked at certain red states, like the whole ballot went red, and suddenly the governor is a Democrat. It's like, how did that even happen? Like, nobody votes like that. I mean, voting trends tend to be the people who are Republican show up to vote Republican, and the people who are Democrats show up to vote Democrat. There's very few post-partisans who are like me. I've literally voted for every party on the ballot. I'm one of the few people who can say that I've voted Green, I've voted Libertarian many times. Most of the time I've voted Democrat and I've voted Republican. I'm a true post-partisan. Not many people do that. It's very fucking rare. Most people just go down the ballot and they vote blue or they vote red. You know, 90% of the people in this country vote that way. That's how it's always been. It's probably how it always will be. For people like you, Michael, I would say if you don't want to vote, go vote for the most fucked up party you can imagine and make a statement by doing that. And guess what? The mainstream will go, what? Why does this like fucked up party over here that nobody votes for suddenly get 5% or 6% or 7% or God forbid 20%? Suddenly they would be going, what the hell? So I mean, like, that's one of the reasons I always show up to vote, is like, if I don't feel like voting for Democrat or Republican makes a difference, and mostly it doesn't, I get that. Mostly it's like a uniparty, then vote for somebody else. Because you know what, if suddenly everybody voted third party and there was like 30% Republican and 30% Democrat, 30% Libertarian, the whole system would be thrown into chaos. And that's the only way you would get change. So that's my wrap on voting.
I wonder what the voting. Okay, so it's like I didn't vote because I was in the hospital at the time.
That's a pretty good
I was
excuse.
planning on going in-person voting. You know, that's what I was going to do. And a doctor asked me. He goes, "Hey, you need help voting today?" And he was definitely not leaning my way. I was like, dude, I'm good. I was like, either way, I'm in a blue state. We all know it. You know, like I'm in Mass. It's a blue state, dude. You know what I mean? That's so we're not gonna win. We are fighting the real Craig in here, bud. The real one. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we are in the blue state, and I'm telling people to go fuck themselves. And that's the way it should be. You know why? Who the fuck are we? What are we doing here? Right? We're having a conversation that shouldn't. It shouldn't. It really shouldn't. People really played a part where
being
we were
a time being
paying attention. I want to say this, dude. I feel like the fathers, okay, for years we got told never to talk about three things in our lives: money, politics, and religion. They were wrong. Should have been talking about them every fucking time.
Yeah.
Every time. Should figure out what the money was right for the deal, how you want to do it, where everybody's happy, reciprocity, right? That's the way you should have been. You should have fucking talk about religion, where you find the woman that you really identify with, who you really want to be with, who you understand each other, you feel who you are. That's the way it is. And fucking, politics. We want to give them a backseat. Look where we are now.
yeah.
These motherfuckers never talking about nothing. You know why? Because their rule. Was it their rule though? It wasn't. It was the others. And it was them for doing shady shit to lead them to the point where we're fucking at right now. Now everybody's life is going under. What do? You fucking stand up. You do what's right. You man up. You be the person you want to be. That's it. Nothing else.
Yeah.
Nothing less. You be who the fuck you were supposed to be, and you fucking tell everybody to be the same. Because this is obvious. 98% flu cases down. That don't just fucking show up. 90%. And someone told me it was because of the mask. Okay, so you're telling me that we never had a vaccine ever? We could just wear a mask and would have been done? Because that's what it seems like to me.
Yeah.
That's what you're telling me. Because that's fucking dumb. That's dumb. You straight up dumb if you think that. I hate to tell you, but you're below retard proof. Sorry.
2020 is an IQ test, and a whole lot of people are failing.
Yep. Nobody wants.
I mean,
You know why? You know why?
It's
Kurt,
a,
it's a
it's
great
a,
line. You know why? Nobody ever wants to go outside the lines, bud.
Yeah.
The IQ test, you know what it used to be? You had to travel outside the lines to make it happen. You had to. 5 lines connected, not touching. Go outside the fucking lines. Nobody wants you outside the lines.
Yeah.
Fucking wake up. You fucking go outside the lines. You know why? It's better on the outside, dude. You fucking just go after it. That's all it is. This is what the IQ test is supposed to be. You do the hokey pokey. You turn yourself around. You put one hand in, you pull it back. You do it again, and you put 2 hands. You know what? Eventually, you put your whole fucking body in. Just go for it. Who cares? Let go. Let it be. Enjoy yourself. It's a joke that people feel like they're stuck when they're not stuck.
Yeah,
Sad.
I agree. But on that note, gentlemen, I'm gonna have to wrap this up because
Same here, man. That was great, dude. That was a good couple hours of a good
Thanks, guys. That was
conversation.
fun. Yep.
Kurt, but
I'm pretty sure we solved all the world's problems. So we got that on our resume.
Hey, dude. we definitely did. We definitely did. Hey, man, Kurt. Pleasure having you on, dude.
Okay, take care, guys. It's good to see you.
All right, man. I'm gonna
take care, man.
Fight the good fight, man.
Peace.
All right, Justin. Thank you, man. Thank you for having me on.
I love you, dude. You're great guys.